Hey guys, so today's episode is sponsored by Inspire Thread. Born from personal stories and shaped by purpose, the Inspire Thread brand transformed lived experiences into designs that speak without shouting. Each product is a tribute to resilience, a spark for connection, and a quiet reminder that your journey matters. Head over to inspirethread.com and use promo code BeingRare10 at checkout to get 10% off your order. Enjoy the show. Be rare. Welcome to the Being Rare podcast, where we talk about navigating life with rare disease. I am Sarita Edwards, wife, mom, award winning advocate, nonprofit founder, and CEO, and your host. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Being Rare podcast. So today we are joined by Michael Mantz, who is living with Ataxia SCA15. Michael shares his experiences through his blog, and he recently launched Inspire Thread, an awareness brand for people navigating rare, invisible, and progressive conditions. So Michael, welcome to the Being Rare podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. It's nice to be here with you.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here. So, you shared that your journey with ataxia started long before your diagnosis. Let's start at the beginning. What was those early signs for you? Like, what did that journey look like for you?
So yeah, when I was growing up, I'm tall. So everyone thought I was just tall and growing into coordination and balance. But I had trouble riding bike. I had playing basketball, all the kind of stuff, but not enough to cause a concern. So everybody just thought I was clumsy. So I went all that time growing up. Still played sports, still golf, did everything else. Because mine is progressive. So obviously it didn't even hit me till later in life, the real effects. So I just kind of grew and assumed in my mind, I assumed everybody was the same. Everybody had to grow into their body. So I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah. How old were you when you got your diagnosis?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was 28 when I was diagnosed. Um,
Wow.
what happened is that actually hurt my back. We were moving from the house and I hurt it. So I went a couple months and my back never got better. So I went to a back specialist. She checked my coordination, healed the shin and touching all this stuff. And you're kind of off. So I went to see a neurologist. That neurologist sent me to another one and on from there. So basically, I had lived until 28, not even hearing the word yeah.
Wow.
Again, thought it was clumsy. I actually noticed at that time my things started to shake a little bit.
Mhm.
So that were
Mhm.
some early signs prior to going to the doctor and getting the diagnosis.
Mhm.
So to me, it was kind of something brand new, something unheard of, but it made sense to me.
Yeah. So when you started going to the doctor because of the symptoms, was it an immediate diagnosis? Was it still did it take them some time to give you the diagnosis of ataxia?
No, actually, that is with the taxi or things like that. It's very difficult because there's a lot of different forms, but it takes a long time to find out. So I had the general ataxia diagnosis pretty soon to that point of meeting the doctors. Um, and in fact, when I was diagnosed, because they didn't know what form, they told me you have parts of AT, which is ataxia telangiectasia, it's for kids. When I have parts of this, and they couldn't figure it out. So I
Yeah.
went out to on my own, went to John Hopkins, I went to Mayo, I went everywhere I could to try to figure it out. But
Yeah.
it took until my first, which they thought I had, it took until 2013 at UCLA to give me one form, which was actually incorrect because I was retested in 2022 and then got the actual SCA15. So it took all those years just to figure out what it was.
Wow. 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 And we know, the impact that comes with uncertainty and what that impact can have on just identity, confidence, daily life, and all the things. How did it change for you once you finally had a diagnosis and you no longer felt like it was just you being clumsy, this is normal and all the stuff. How did things change?
They didn't change a lot. When I was 28 and my, STA15 overall is more mild than a lot
Mhm.
of the severe diagnoses. So to me at 28, I almost probably wasn't the right thing to do, but I kind of just brush it off. Didn't want to
Yeah.
think about it. Didn't want to deal with it. It was other than, but I wasn't that bad yet. My speed was good. I could still
Yeah.
go and play golf or do whatever. So I
Yeah.
just kind of let it go. I didn't want to talk about it, anything else. And that lasted up until, that lasted probably till I hit 40. And in that time frame of early 40s, when I started to notice a lot more, I'd lost my handwriting, my speech started to get worse. I had
Yeah. I know, um, you said you didn't really want to talk about it and all the things. I know, um, my son has a rare condition. That's what brought me to the rare disease space. And um, sharing our journey with him, I got his diagnosis in utero. I was about 22 weeks pregnant with him. And I held on to it for some time. And even after he was born, I just it was just hard to talk about. Like talking about it just made it so real. And I think I wasn't ready for that. Some people call it acceptance, some people call it denial. Uh, I think for me, it was a space that I wasn't mentally ready to be in. I will say that once I started talking about it, I did feel like this weighted burden was lifted off of me. Um, and I found that I had more community support than I expected. Um, so I completely understand, how you just continue with things as they were because that's what's comfortable, that's what's normal, that's what you know. And sprinkling new experiences can be difficult. It can be a lot. And so I completely know where you're coming from. I
right.
know that you started writing openly in your blog about your journey. When did you decide to do that, and what led you to start sharing your story more publicly?
Sure. So 2019, I had a big, huge two accidents, two falls within a week. It had broken my fingers, my arm and shoulders, and the whole right side was kind of needed to time to repair. So I was living in Southern California at that time, but I had family here in Denver. So I needed some help because I couldn't do things for a few months. So I moved back here, stayed with my sister while I kind of recuperated. Uh, the point of that being is I've always been in financial services, one way or another, planning or brokerage or whatever. So I had my own business from 2013 on. When I moved back here, it was kind of COVID came in and I was hurt and all this stuff in those year, 1 or 2 year period. So I decided with my speech getting worse, my balance, I kind of feel like you have to be confident and educate people with their finances. It's very important.
Yeah.
So I decided to sell my business. In 22, I sold that. I was deciding what to do, what I wanted to do after that. The idea of a blog kind of came to me. Kind of everything I do now just kind of comes to me. It just appears.
Yeah.
So I've always been interested in writing and creative and all that stuff. So when I started out, it was very hard, very nervous to share this stuff. And so I started to put it out and I started to get good feedback from other Ataxia people or just from friends and family, whatever. It was very small. So I decided, hey, I'm going to really pursue this. So I started putting more time, more effort into it. And the blog has grown. It's still small, but it's still growing. It's been around about 2 years now.
Wow.
And that has just led to more ideas and more things I can do as I continue to grow into this role.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Have you found it to be, really, really helpful for you? I know other people are finding it, and I'm sure that, it's giving them a lifeline that they're looking for. Have you found it to be kind of therapeutic for you to share in your blog?
It's so that's a two-part question. So again, I said I'm open. I'm as open as I can be because no other way are people gonna relate to it if I hold back. So I've done on the blog, but I still feel personally like I've held back in the blog. So I'm writing a talk about, but that is more raw. That's 100% open. So I'm getting there. It takes me steps to build to that. But
Yeah,
yes, to
yeah,
your question, it has given me some ease with my own condition, but it's given me more than that an overall driver uh, to be a person to help spread awareness, to help bring about everything, whether it's a taxi or something else. It's
yeah,
going to help just bring that. So it's given me a mission alongside.
yeah. That's good stuff. So let's talk a little bit about Inspire Thread. I know that you have a new awareness brand. Um, how did you find yourself creating merchandise and all the stuff? What's the mission behind the brand?
Well, the mission it's kind of a lot of things in one. So I first off the name Inspire Thread. It's not just clothing, it's the water bottles and whatever else. So it's kind of gear, but meant to inspire. So I've never sat down and said, hey, I have to have an apparel company. It was never a goal. But as I was looking at things to make my mission more powerful, more impact, I was trying different things. Maybe it was consulting, maybe it was whatever. And this came about late last year. I had the idea. So I started to form more of it. Fast forward to last month, I launched. We have a lot of core products. And I have a steady steps line, which is ataxia specific. But 85% of the whole thing is rare conditions. So it fits with everything, whether it's what your son has or it's, Parkinson's or whatever it is, it's going to fit in there. So I have added that to my writing to really give more impact, for more people to see and become aware.
Mhm, mhm. And that actually was going to be my next question. I know that visibility is something that you highlight, something that's so important, especially when it comes to um, people with invisible illnesses and invisible conditions. Why is it important to you to make sure that people with invisible illnesses and rare conditions are just as seen as everyone else?
Because there's a lot, to the degree of whatever your condition is, it's invisible or slightly visible or whatever it is, it's important for people to see that and become comfortable. I've talked before about how people, friends and family, close coworkers, whatever, kind of at times I feel they're uncomfortable with asking me about it, how I'm doing or what I'm doing or preparing. And I want that they'll probably never be totally comfortable for everyone. But I want to bring more awareness. Awareness is not just saying, hey, I know what ataxia is. Awareness is the comfort to be able to help that person and
Yeah,
maybe to be able to help in finding treatments or just giving them a better mindset to go, things can get tough. I've had tremors in the past and I can't even drive. It's the worst feeling for me. But there's gotta be ways to deal with that. With your own mindset, with other people that understand, with community, helping to get over these hurdles. So
yeah,
to me that is very important.
yeah. And I love that, that awareness is not just um, talking about the diagnosis itself, but creating levels of comfort. And I always like to say, awareness for me is, or one phase of awareness for me is really about changing perspectives.
Yes.
Um, and like you said, changing my own perspective, changing other people's perspectives. My son, he has trisomy 18, and in the medical space, the healthcare space, um, it's still considered in a lot of spaces incompatible with life. And so it gives leverage to a lot of doctors to refuse you care, refuse you intervention.
Right?
You're encouraged to enjoy your time, whatever that time is, with your child, because they're going to die soon. And that's the narrative for so many families. And my son this year celebrated his 8th birthday. And
That's
so,
great.
yeah, I think it's so important that that we raise awareness, not just to highlight the conditions, but also with the intent, with intentionality to change perspectives and show that there are opportunities for longevity, and this is what it can look like. Create those areas of comfort. So I love that's your perspective, and why visibility is so important.
And the other thing with that, what you just said about your son having a lifespan, well, maybe the average numbers in the past have been XYZ, but that doesn't mean that your son can out outlive that.
Yeah,
Whatever the word is for it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a mindset and it's awareness of others giving that power. So awareness is so much bigger than just a label, just knowing what someone has gone through. That's,
Mhm.
awareness is so much more.
Yeah, I love that. You're absolutely right. And so, as we kind of come to our close, I want you to tell us about your memoir. I know that you're working on a memoir. Like,
Yeah.
what is your goal behind it, and what do you want readers to take away from it?
What I want readers to take away. is twofold. It's building awareness, learning about ataxia, but moreover, this book is about me falling and getting up and falling and getting up repeatedly, whether it's physically from ataxia or it's different struggles I've had in my life. So the book could fit to anyone going through challenges. I've had a lot of ups and a lot of downs in my 52 years. So
Yeah.
it's a book to me to really, like I said earlier, to really just let everything out, to not hold back, and to see. And that has always been a goal of mine too, is to read a book for years and years. So I'm about halfway through. I'm looking for agents or whatever, and if not, I'll self-publish it. But it's really intense for me. It's a big process. But the finished product, I think, is going to be outstanding.
Oh,
So it's
that's
called
good.
Echoes of Yesterday and Bridges to Tomorrow. So it's a dual that's it's past and present and future.
Yeah.
Past and future.
Yeah, I love that. And I was about to ask, you said you were about halfway through. That was going to be my
Yeah.
next question. Do you have like a timeline of when you think you'd be finished? But
Since I just launched the store last month, that was taking most of my time. And I still have other stuff, designs coming in next month. So if I
mhm.
looked at it, I would say by the end of the year, I should be able to have that done.
That's awesome. That's amazing, Michael. Well, tell folks, how can they find the merch store? Like what's the website to Inspire Thread for anybody who may be interested in some merch?
Sure,
Um,
it's
yeah.
just inspirethread.com.
Okay.
So it's the name inspirethread.com. My blog is my name, michaelmantz.com. So
Perfect, perfect. And guys, I will make sure to put that in the show notes so you can have a direct link to access Michael and get you some merch if you want some. Um, so good stuff. Well, Michael, I appreciate you so much for sharing your journey with us. I always like to close out the show with just a final word. So, any final words for our listeners and our viewers?
um there's funny final words. I would say just awareness, what that main message we talked about. Become aware in your friends and family, whatever someone is dealing with, be able to
Mhm,
help if you can. And the second is just I'm trying to build a mission, but I also share other people's stories on my blog. So
yeah,
if you are out there and you want to share your own story, feel free to
mhm.
contact me, email me. All my contacts are on both sites. And I would say just go out, take a look at my site, take a look at the store, see if anything speaks to you. If not, more will be coming down the road.
And real quick, for anybody who may be interested in being a guest blogger on your blog, do you have to have ataxia or is it any rare
No,
condition?
it's the blog right now is geared more towards ataxia and movement disorders, so an MS or Parkinson's, whatever else. But if it's a compelling story, if it's something that will help out everyone, I'm
Yeah.
open to it.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, guys. So there's an opportunity to share your story on Michael's blog if that's something that you're interested in. Michael, I appreciate you for this connection. It's really great to meet you. I'm so excited to have you on today's episode. Guys, if you are not yet following the Being Real podcast, you should be. Go ahead and like us, follow us wherever you stream your podcast. You can also go ahead and hit subscribe on our YouTube channel. Um, Michael, thank you so much again for being here. I appreciate you.
And thank you. Thank you for giving me some time.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Until the next one, be rare. Peace. I'll at you. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed today's conversation, please share it with others, post it on social media, or leave us a comment or review. Stay up to date on current conversations by subscribing to Being Rare wherever you listen to your podcast. Connect with us on social media at Sarita Edwards at the Being Rare Podcast. Until the next episode, be rare.